guys, it's Darwin here with my top 10 favorite backpacking gear of 2017. Alright, so technically it's not the end of 2017 yet because we still have like 3 weeks left, but I don't plan on getting any new gear before the year's out, so I think we're okay. If you've been following along here on the channel for this past year, you'll know that I have tested and reviewed and talked about a ton of different backpacking gear. And personally, I have used a ton of different backpacking gear this year, between trips like my section hike of the CDT in April to my section hike of the Arizona Trail in September, a ton of hiking in the Grand Canyon, some hiking in Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, a bunch of weekend backpacking trips, and a lot of day hiking. I have used a crap ton of gear. So I figured I would compile a list of my top 10 favorite pieces of gear from 2017 that I used for the first time this year. Alright, so number 10 would be a piece of gear that has completely changed the way I dress on the trail, and that is the Columbia Silver Ridge long sleeve light shirt. Now before I picked this guy up for my section hike of the CDT in April, I'd always been one of those tech t-shirt guys, always wearing like a Nike Pro Combat shirt. I picked this up specifically for that desert section hike of the CDT to obviously give me some block from the sun. And not only was it great for the harsh desert sun on that section, but just overall an amazing hiking shirt. It's great for sun protection, it breathes really well, it can be a long sleeve, it can be a short sleeve, it looks pretty snazzy. This has become my new favorite hiking shirt for section hikes, day hikes, and it'll be the shirt that I'll wear for my entire thru hike of the PCT next year. So it makes the list. Number 9 is a piece of gear that actually replaced another one of my favorite pieces of gear, and that is the BRS Ultralight stove. If you guys have been subscribed to the channel here for the last couple years, you'll know one of my favorite all-time pieces of gear was the Snow Peak Light Max stove. It's the stove that I carried on the Appalachian Trail. At the beginning of the year, I picked this guy up because it seemed like a great budget option, and it has become my favorite go-to stove. Now, even though I do a lot of cold soaking nowadays, when I do need a stove for the trail, I grabbed the BRS. It's super lightweight, it's super compact, and they're really cheap. This little stove's pretty hard to beat, and it's probably gonna be going with me next year on my hike of the PCT. So because it replaced one of my older favorite pieces of gear, it definitely makes the list. Number 8 is a piece of gear that I didn't even expect to light, and it ended up changing the way I think about shelters on the trail, and that is the Enlightened Reconvivvy. Now, before I picked this guy up, I had never been a big fan of bivvies because I'm a tent guy. I like having that extra room to spread out and to have a home on the trail. I picked the Reconvivvy up specifically to get my base weight down and go with an ultralight setup, and to my surprise, I really love this thing. It's super simple, super lightweight, coming in right around 7 ounces, and it's an awesome shelter if you're not expecting hardcore weather. So even though I won't be taking this next year on my hike of the PCT, it'll definitely be coming with me on a lot more trips in the future. Number 7 is another piece of gear that replaced one of my old favorite pieces of gear, and that is the Trekology Ultralight pillow. As you guys might know, I'm a big fan of the Sea to Summit Eros Ultralight pillow, and I've been carrying it for about 2 years now. It helps me get awesome sleep on the trail, and when I was doing one of my ultralight gear on a budget videos, I picked this guy up on a whim. To my surprise, I love it so much more than my Eros pillow. For one, it's a lot bigger than my Eros pillow. It weighs just a little bit more, and it's a whole lot cheaper. Now again, because this replaced one of my old favorite pieces of gear, it definitely makes the list for my favorite gear of 2017. Number 6 is a piece of gear that the first time I saw it, I knew it was gonna make this list, and that is the Nok Veco Water Container. Back in August when I went to PCT Trail Days, I was just kind of looking around at all the new gear on the market, and this one definitely stood out to me. I ditched my Platypus gravity feed system about a year ago, and I was looking for a good replacement for a lot of water storage. Something not too crazy big, something not too crazy heavy, but something that was tough enough to last a full thru hike of the PCT. Now after taking this guy out on my section hike of the Arizona Trail and using it on every hike since, I absolutely love these water containers. They're nice and lightweight. They have a huge opening at the top. You can screw your filter right onto the bottle. These things rock. And I actually plan on picking up another one for my hike of the PCT. So this definitely makes my list of favorite gear of 2017. Number 5 is one that I had thought about for quite a while and I kind of struggled with because I never used one before, and that is the Tent Lab Deuce of Spades trowel. I'd always totally been against using a trowel on the trail, using a stick or a trekking pole or my shoe or a rock or anything else, and then came to the realization that I needed to help promote good leave no trace. And if you guys watched the video that I did on the trowel, you'll know that I read an article that completely changed my mind. So I finally gave in and I picked up one of these guys, and to my surprise, I couldn't imagine digging a crap hole without it. Number 4 is one that you guys have probably seen coming for a while now, and it's a pack that totally changed the way I go ultralight on the trail, and that is the ZPak Snare. An awesome, super lightweight, frameless backpack. I picked this guy up for my section hike of the Arizona Trail, and now when I'm putting together an ultralight kit for a super fast, small hike, this is my go-to pack. I love the simplicity of it, the big mesh storage pocket, the water bottle pockets on the outside, the fact that I can put my butt pad in the back to add some padding to it. This pack is awesome, and it has definitely become one of my favorite pieces of gear this year. Number 3, the Nok Vertex carbon cork trekking poles. If you guys remember from the beginning of the year, I was totally sold on the Black Diamond Ergo carbon cork poles, and those were the trekking poles that I picked up for my thru hike of the PCT until I found the Vertex. Even lighter than my Black Diamonds, they fold up super small so they can go in your pack. For a Z pole, they're completely adjustable. They have a cork handle. These have become my new favorite trekking pole. So the Vertex makes the list. Number 2 is a shoe that changed the way that I hike, and that is the Ultra Lone Peak 3.5. Now, if you guys know, before this year, I was a hardcore advocate for the Merrell Moab ventilator. Even though it was a heavier trail shoe, it was one of my favorites. It was the shoe that took me the entire length of the Appalachian Trail, and as far as I was considered, it was the perfect hiking shoe until I tried the Lone Peak. So much more comfortable, so much lighter, a big wide toe box, a gator trap. These shoes are awesome. Going forward, this is my go-to shoe, and it's definitely coming with me next year on the PCT. All right guys, last but not least is number 1, my favorite piece of gear from 2017, and that is my ZPak's Duplex tent. As some of you guys might know, I was kind of struggling going back and forth with some different tents for a while at the beginning of the year, and finally I pulled the trigger and bought one of these guys. And it has not disappointed and become my favorite tent that I've ever owned. It's perfect just for me when I'm out on the trail, but it's also perfect if Snuggles and I want to go out on a backpacking trip together. It has a ton of room on the inside and it's just awesome. And it will be my home away from home next year on the PCT. A little expensive, but totally worth every penny. The ZPak's Duplex tent is amazing. All right guys, so again, I played with a ton of gear this year, tested it out, reviewed it, beat the hell out of it, but those 10 pieces of gear are my favorite of 2017. So what's some of your favorite gear from 2017? Leave it in the comment box below and let me know your thoughts. If you haven't had a chance yet, go over and check me out on Instagram. I've been posting a lot of new photos lately of some of the things that Snuggles and I have going on throughout the week, plus some pictures from some past hikes. If you found any value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.